Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Ask SVP, where you get to ask us questions about your car and bike needs. And what we do is just give you the answers. Yes, some are challenging and some are not. Some are related to BS6, which is extremely important in a time like now, and some are just about asking us questions regards your car and bike. So let's kickstart things with the first question for today. Let's take that. Abhimanyu Kohli asks, if the Hyundai Venue gets a 1.5 litre BS6 diesel engine next year, what price jump are we talking about in comparison to the 1.4 litre diesel SX model, which is priced at 9,78,000 rupees? Well, yes, there is an expected jump in price as far as BS6 is concerned, and especially that of diesel. And that is solely because of the emission norms that are kicking in, and the amount of investment that the company has to make for each car. Now, petrol won't go up that much, but diesel definitely. You'll see a hike of 50,000 to 60,000 rupees, especially on the diesel. The petrol engines might not have that bigger price hike, but yes, diesel, you will see that price go up to at least 10 lakh or 10 lakh 50,000 rupees at the most for the SX. But as much as we know, automakers are trying to absorb as much as the cost as possible, and that is extremely important for someone like Hyundai, who is in a segment which is growing rapidly. Kia has already come in, MG is already there, Tata Motors is there, so it needs to be competitive. But all around in that segment, definitely the prices are going to go up, and especially that of diesel. Let's take the next question. It's Shamik Sharma who says, hi, I'm looking for an SUV or an MUV which has the best third row space. My budget is under 20 lakh. Kindly suggest. I'm willing to wait for a few months if something interesting is about to come. In that space, if you're looking at a 20 lakh kind of car, the Innova, probably one of the mid trims, you might definitely get one of those mid trims of the Innova. It's big on space, fairly decent on features, and obviously lower maintenance cost as well. But as such, a 7-seater SUV right now is not on the cards there. Yes, the MG Hector will come with a 7-seater version, but that is expected to be priced a little over 20 lakh rupees. So we are not sure on that front yet. But let's hope that 7-seater is something that you are looking for. But the company, of course, has not yet said anything about the pricing of the car. That is the 7-seater of the Hector. So we wait to find out. In fact, a 7-seater of the Harrier too, we saw that, the Buzzard, that too is in the making, and that will be under 7 lakh rupees. So yes, there are a lot of cars that are expected in that segment very soon, 7-seater especially, SUVs and MUVs. But if you're in a hurry to buy, then the Innova is a good choice. Second to the Innova is are two options that you have, the Marazzo and the Ertiga. So if you really want to buy it right away, then these are the two cars that you have to go in for. Let's move on to the next question, where Vedant Gupta asks, I'm confused between the Hyundai Venue and the Ford EcoSport. Also, should I wait for the BS6 variant, or buying a car right now is the right decision? Kindly suggest. Well, that's one question that's everybody been asking. Should I buy a car right now or wait for the BS6 variant? I think that's not really the case right now. You can buy a car, it'll still run on BS6 fuel whenever it is available. The oil companies have said that it will be available post April 2020, and that's the deadline. So yes, BS4 cars currently will run on BS6 fuel as well. So don't hesitate in buying a car right now, for sure. As far as your question is concerned, the EcoSport versus the Venue, both are subcompact SUVs. The Venue has more features on offer. Ride quality on the EcoSport is better from what we have driven, and the overall package as such is better on the Hyundai. So we would definitely suggest you go in for the Hyundai Venue. It really depends on what you want to go in for. If it's an automatic variant that you're looking for, then the Venue is, well, basically your car, because that 7-speed DCT is definitely better than a torque converter that the Ford EcoSport has. if you go on to look at it, variant per variant, definitely the Venue has more to offer than the EcoSport, and hands down, Hyundai has more localized content on the Venue than the EcoSport. So yes, the Venue should be your choice. It's new, it's a new looking thing, and it's a trending looking thing as well. So definitely go in for the Venue there. Well, the next question is from Srinivas Shashikant, who asks, is Nissan and Hyundai planning to launch the X-Trail Hybrid and the 2019 Santa Fe XL? As far as the X-Trail Hybrid is concerned, there were plans to bring that car into India sometime last year. Now, those plans have not yet come into play. So Nissan is still waiting out on that, and Nissan India might just have changed plans because basically nothing's working for them. And the Kicks was going to be a game changer, but sales have been pretty slow, and it's definitely something that they want to change. And with a new year comes a new vision, and BS6 definitely will be that resurge for the company. So we wait to see what Nissan has to bring, but for the time being, the X-Trail Hybrid is not on the cards for Nissan. The Leaf is what Nissan is planning to bring to India, and that is because it's an all-electric car. As far as the Santa Fe XL is concerned, Hyundai is actually looking at bringing the Tucson first rather than the Santa Fe, because it just looks better than the Santa Fe currently. But yes, there are plans of bringing in the Santa Fe very soon. It's a very small market for Hyundai technically, so they won't spend much time on that. Because the volumes will be low, of course. So Santa Fe is a long shot, maybe 2020 when the BS6 norms kick in. So you'll have an all new car, all new design as well, and that will just complete the SUV portfolio for the company. And as for the X-Trail, as we told you earlier, well, not really right now, probably by 2020. Let's see how that goes. Well, let's get into a break right now. On the other side, more questions. Welcome back to the Ask SVP segment, and as we told you earlier, lot more questions coming our way, and yes, a lot more answers as well. So let's kickstart that second bandwagon then. Fahad asks, I'm confused between the Honda CBR 250R and the 2019 Bajaj Dominar. Which one should I go in for? I think the 250R has been recently updated, and but the Bajaj Dominar is certainly a bike that we loved. Hands down, and it's a true tourer, and it's absolutely fun to ride, and Bajaj makes it so simple for bikers or for even newbies to ride that bike. It's definitely the better of the two. So yeah, and price wise too, I mean, getting a Dominar at that price is pretty decent as well. Haven't heard so much about how it does after sales, where after sales is concerned, but service is definitely a big thumbs up for Bajaj on the Dominar. Not much heard on that. So yes, between the two, the Dominar, it's very simple. Let's move on to the next. Now I want to buy. Irshad asks, I want to buy a maxi scooter and was confused between the Suzuki Burgman Street, Suzuki Access, and the new Maestro. Charging point and large seat is a must. Are there any other scooters that are planning to hit the Indian market soon? Kindly help. Well, as far as the maxi scooter segment is concerned, the Burgman Street is the only maxi scooter that there is. There is of course the 22 Kimco 300 town, 300i or town I, something like that. That 22 Kimco has brought to the market. So that's another one, but that's a bike or a scooter that costs more than ₹1 lakh. So if you want to buy something that is new, then it makes sense. But otherwise, I think the Burgman Street is it's a great bike, or it's a great scooter, or a great maxi scooter if you want to say that. It rides pretty well. We have the review up on carandbike.com. You can go through that. We have if we have compared it as well, and overall as a package it really stands out. So definitely look at the Burgman Street. It is a one of a kind bike from Suzuki, and but if you want, if you compare it to the Access and the Maestro, then again they're different categories altogether. Not a maxi scooter, more space, so everything changes. So yeah, I think if you are going in for the Burgman Street, it is quirky, it is nice, and as an overall package really stands out. So hope that answers your question, Fahad. Let's move on to the next question, where Ram Prasad asks, I'm confused between the Honda CB300R and the BMW G310R, looking for a comfortable performance oriented bike, kindly help. Both are pretty performance oriented bikes, Ram, but it all depends on how much you want to spend, not only on the bikes but also after you have bought the bikes. So the BMW G310R is on the expensive side, but then you get a badge for that, the BMW Motorrad badge, and if that helps, well, buy that. But if you're not looking at a badge as such, then do settle in for the Honda CB300R. A word of caution though, if you book the CB300R, there's a long waiting list, and around more than 7 months or 8 months at least, you'll have to wait for your bike. So if you're ready to wait that long, then the Honda CB300R makes sense. But if you're not, well, then you don't have a choice but to buy the BMW G310R. Hope that answers your question. Let's move on to the next question, where Rimi asks, when is Maruti Suzuki planning to bring in the 7-seater version of the Wagon R? Is it going to be bigger than the Ertiga and compete with the likes of the Innova, or is it going to be a smaller in size? It is going to be a smaller version. It is not going to be a rival for the Wagon R. It's not going to be, it's not going to be a rival for the Ertiga. It's not going to be a rival for the Marazzo nor the Innova. It's going to be a smaller car, more like the Triber. So now you understand where that comparison is coming on. Now the Go Plus, the Triber, the Wagon R 7-seater, they're all going to be in that very segment. Now the Triber is a sub 4 meter kind of car, but the Wagon R might not be. So we really don't know yet, but it might not be a sub 4 meters car. However, that car is slated to launch very soon in India, probably this year or next year, or we'll see it at the Auto Expo 2020. But we have done an exclusive on this on carandbike.com, so you can go there and find out on your own. Well, that's it for this segment. Let's move on to the next one, but after this break. Welcome back after the break. I'm Ameya Naik, and this is the Ask SVP segment, where you get to ask your questions and we answer them. So let's get into the final segment with a lot more questions coming our way. So let's take Deep G says, I'm confused between the Vitara Brezza and the Hyundai Venue. Needed for city drive only, and my average run is going to be around 70 kilometers per week. Kindly suggest. If your average run is going to be 70 kilometers per week, then it's the petrol that you should buy, which is clear. Now, in that, the Maruti Suzuki Vitara Brezza does not come in petrol. So really that completely rules that out at the outset. So the Hyundai Venue has two petrol engines on offer. The 1 liter turbo petrol and the 1.2 liter turbo and the 1.2 liter petrol. So choose anything between that and you'll be fine. It depends on what you want. If you want an automatic, then the 1 liter is the only engine that has the automatic. If you want the 1.2, then well, you'll get the manual transmission. Out of the two, if ride quality is a concern, then the Maruti Suzuki Vitara Brezza actually has a better ride quality than the Venue, but the Venue has more features. Ride and handling is better. The handling bit is better in the Venue than in the Maruti Suzuki Vitara Brezza. But then again, if you're driving just 70 kilometers a week, then the petrol makes more sense, because it will be definitely better on fuel efficiency, and you don't have to worry about anything else as such, as far as servicing is concerned, because the service costs of diesels are high, and the Vitara Brezza, as I told you earlier, is only available in the diesel engine. So you may have to think more on that front. So the final question is from Karthik M, who says, when is Volkswagen India planning to bring in the 6th generation Polo? Really interested to buy it, but don't want to go for an older gen car. We are wondering the same thing, and we hope Volkswagen India has an answer for us. For the time being, the company is not willing to bring in the Polo, as quickly as you want it to come. For the time being, it's only about SUVs. So the first batch of SUVs is actually coming this year, later this year. We have told you that the T-Roc is going to come to India, probably the Tiguan All-Space 2. All these cars will be imported as CBUs to India and then sold here. Just to, they'll just be a preface to the T-Cross, which is coming in next year. And we'll see that at the 2020 Auto Expo. But as far as the new generation of the Polo is concerned, that's not happening so early, because that A0 MQB A0iN platform is what's going to develop, and that will probably see the premium hatchback come back to India, but not as early as 2019, of course, maybe in the later half of 2020, but it really depends on what Volkswagen is looking at and what Volkswagen's strategy is for India. Well, we have exhausted all our questions, so that's it for this show. Thank you so much for watching, and of course, we have our social handles where you can send all of your questions to, right from Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and even YouTube. And of course, go to www.carandbike.com, where you can always go through everything that we do on a daily basis, and of course send us your questions there too on our forum. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, a safety tip for you all: always wear your seat belts while driving and your helmets while riding. Thank you so much for watching.